What up, Facebook fam? Jen Vera, Sales Embodiment Coach here. Welcome, welcome. I just recently posted into my group this message of you still get to make money when you are in moments of crisis. You still get to, when you're having emotional stuff going on, you still get to receive. And this is all kind of being in response to a lot of stuff that's coming up for a lot of people, myself included. We're no big deal, but there's this pandemic going on, right? And a lot of us are being affected in ways that we didn't necessarily think. Some of the ways are business related, some of the ways are personal related, relationship related, etc. And sometimes we can be in a place, especially as entrepreneurs, where we feel like things have to be in perfect conditions, right? In order for us to work, in order for us to be effective, in order for us to generate revenue. Sometimes we are in a space where we think, I have to be on, especially if you're in the personal development coaching arena. There's this belief system that's I've got to show up, I've got to be on, I've got to be posting content constantly, I've got to be in the activity, I have to show up as a leader, I've got to be this, be that, etc., etc. And what happens to us is we think that, if we're not showing up in a certain way, if we're not performing, that we're not enough. All right. We think there's no way that if I don't feed this machine, I'm not going to get these results. I'm not worthy of money. I won't be able to receive. And I just wanted to pop in here and say no, that is not true. And to encourage you to really look at your business and look at what's going on with you in terms of so I'm going to talk about the patriarchy, right? And what is the patriarchy? It's not men, okay? The patriarchy are systems and institutions that were created in this old paradigm that we're shifting out of. And if I'm losing you, just pay attention and listen and see if something opens up for you. And if not, all good. But the patriarchy is an outdated system that we are now evolving past. Right? And in this outdated system, we have been taught a very not true and very hyper toxic masculine way of thinking that is not integrating greater energies at play, right? And that way of thinking is you perform, you get rewarded. Here's the carrot, right? That form of thinking is there's only one way to get to a goal. And that way is super linear. That way is you have to go to A, B, C, D, E, F, G in order to get all the way to Z. And that way of thinking isn't necessarily true. I mean, how many people do you know that just have had quantum leaps in an area of their life? It might be they went from, being super single to engaged and then happily married within the span of a year or within the span of 9 months, right? People that went from not having a business to all of a sudden having a multi-six-figure business once they found that thing. Quantum leaps exist. And it is when we are thinking in such a linear fashion that we cut off the possibilities for ourselves to receive the quantum leaps and to be able to fully receive all of what we're calling in. And so when I say you have permission, you are worthy, you are enough, you get to make money even when you are in crisis, even when you aren't feeling how can I show up as a leader? How can I show up as this? You still get to make money. And what I'm talking about is not I can go strategic, and that's not what the purpose of this video is. The purpose of this video is for you to understand that you are worthy all the time. That you get to receive, right? That you are loved. That you are enough. And of course, I can be doing mantras and meditating all day and being I am enough, and money's not necessarily going to magically land in my bank account. There are activities, there are actions, there are structures that we can set in place for our business, like recurring revenue, which is a business model that I really encourage all of my clients to have, right? But there's also like releasing the mentality of I've got to perform all the time in order for me to make money. And if I'm not performing, I don't get to have money. Because that's usually like a mindset piece, an energetic piece, an emotional piece that we have, right? We must perform in order to receive. We must perform in order to make money all the time. And what's going on right now and what's being highlighted right now with this pandemic situation and with, certain things that are being highlighted in this situation, like mental illness. There are so many people that are struggling so much with mental illness right now because of the circumstance. Like these things are being brought to the surface, or, beyond mental illness, like the consequences of the massive insecurity that we have in terms of like, when is this going to be over? Like the uncertainty that we have that we've never had to deal with. The heightened interpersonal relationships or relationships with the people that we live with, right? Like there are all of these other things, other elements that we are looking at and spending time with that maybe we haven't spent time with in the past, right? And so our self-care, our level of self-care gets to change with the changing environment, right? The level of like, and self-care isn't just like taking baths and manicures. Like self-care is like really like, it's showing up for yourself. It's feeling your feelings. It's allowing yourself to not constantly be in a state of like hustle, or not having the expectations of I've got to perform all the damn time in order for this to be real, in order for me to like have these results, right? Like we get to shift the expectations that we have for ourselves in a super caring and honoring and loving way. And we get to believe, we get to have the awareness that we still get to make money. We still get to live abundantly. Like it does not negate, one does not negate the other. And that's like super linear thinking that right now at this particular phase of life, on what I've heard from different leaders, like being dubbed New Earth, right? Like as we're coming out of this, like as leaders here now on the planet now, it's not about linear thinking anymore. We do get to quantum leap. We do get to fully receive much more than what we believed were possible. And even in crisis, even when we need to sit with ourselves and be with ourselves and feel our feelings and like dig deeper into things, which is what this time is calling for us to do right now, in my opinion, we still get to make money. We still get to live abundantly. One does not negate the other. And we get to show up for ourselves powerfully. If we remain in an area of old mindsets and old patterns of like, I've got to perform at this level, even while we're going on in a pandemic, even like though all of this stuff is going on and we're not really deeply like taking care of ourselves and up-leveling our level of self-care so that we can show up powerfully as leaders for the people that we are around, and like more than anything for ourselves, because we deserve to give ourselves space. We deserve it. We deserve to really like give ourselves space to feel all that we are feeling and not just act as business as usual, because it's not business as usual. And if our businesses aren't evolving, if we're not restructuring and allowing ourselves time and space to really like ask ourselves, what do I want now? To really like say like, you know what? I'm not going to be working 40 hours a week per usual. Like I need to drop down to 20 because that's what I need right now. And I'm allowing myself to rest and still receive. Like that's a consideration that I would share with you, is like, what are you choosing to believe right now? What are you choosing to believe this like old paradigm of I've got to hustle, and if I don't hustle, if I don't show up, I can't make money? Are you choosing to believe, you know what, the best thing I can do right now is be with myself? And by the way, myself yesterday, like, really needed to like step away from a lot of things and show up for Jen, right? And that is what has allowed myself today to do a live video that feels super inspired, super energy rich, and like show up so potently and powerfully for my clients, and like do it in such an aligned and inspired way where it's not feeling like I'm pushing a rock up a hill, right? And so the moment that you feel like you're pushing upwards, like, what do you need? And can you just accept what you need? And can you allow it? And can you give that to yourself? So that's what I will leave you with today. I'm sending so much love, so much compassion, to all of you, first to myself, and because for myself, because to myself, to all of you. You get to make money, you get to rest, you get to still be in evolution with your business and make money too, by the way, which is another live for another day. But you get to be where you are. We are in the season of spring. We are in an in-between season. We are in a season of transition. And it's not just the literal season of spring. It's also the season between what was and what will be. And allowing ourselves to be in that state of evolution, an evolution of flux, and still believe we can make money. And this is like the sacred feminine. The sacred feminine is the mystery. And we've been trained with money in a very patriarchal, masculine way, where it's like outcome equals money, right? Like this goal, you do these things, and then linearly, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, da, 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 and then you get to this thing, this formula. And we are defying the formulas. So many of us are ready to break through that, beyond formulas, beyond equations, and really understand the beautiful mystery and the beautiful magic that exists within the mystery. So, giving you all space, giving you all love, sending you some money vibes. You get to receive, feel it, yeah. And if you are interested in working together, I have one-on-one coaching available. I have an amazing program called my Sales Embodiment Incubator available, and just reach out, send me a message. Would love to dive deep and understand what's going on for you. And if I can support you, I would love to do that. Okay, bye.